Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start shortly. Just waiting for the last few people trickling in. Thanks everyone for turning up to this pre-event webinar for the Apprentice Automation Challenge this year. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Ask everyone to keep your cameras and microphones switched off for the duration of this until potentially when we get to the Q&A. We are recording this webinar and it will be available to view on demand as well after the fact, so do keep that in mind. And if you're not happy to be recorded, then obviously please do exit the meeting. I think we're probably about ready to kick off. So by way of introduction, my name is Robin Sarpas. I am Program Development Lead at the Institution of Mechanical Engineers. I'm standing in for Jason Yearsley, Chair for the AAC today, and I'm just here to sort of give a brief intro. So hopefully you can all see the presentation visible on your screens. If not, please let me know. So yeah, I'm just going to flick through to the agenda for today's meeting. So first of all, here's the welcome and instructions. That's basically done. Then I'm going to hand over to Toby Heagerty, who's going to give an overview of what's going to be happening on the finals day for the competition and a few tips about presenting and preparing for the day. Then we have Jake with us as well today, who's going to be sharing a little bit of information about Smart Manufacturing Week and some of the work that our partner, the manufacturer, does. And then after that, we will have a bit of a Q&A. I think without further ado, I am going to invite Toby to flick his camera on and unmute, and we're going to crack on with today's webinar. So thanks everyone, and yeah, just shout me, Toby, as you want me to move the presentation on.
Will do. So next slide, please, Robin. So thank you very much for the introduction. So yes, my name is Toby Heagerty. I am the head judge for the Apprentice Automation Challenge, and I'm going to start off with giving you an overview of the finals day. So next slide, please. So the day itself, I'm sure you should all be aware of it, but just in case you're not, the finals day will be Friday, 27th of September, taking place in Coventry at the Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre, AMTC, on the Anstey Business Park. Parking is freely available on site, and all further information will hopefully be sent out to you in the team briefing pack, which should be coming out via email in the next few weeks. So please do keep an eye out. Next slide, please. Thank you. The event itself. So what you can see here is a map of the AMTC for the day. You'll mostly be confined to the ground floor for a large majority of the day, with the networking and drinks reception taking place on the mezzanine in the afternoon. For the teams, your setup will be going into a bit more detail in a minute, but the team, your area of where you'll be focused in will be either the exhibition space or the reception for your demonstrations. Next slide, please. So the teams, you know who you are, and you may necessarily know who your fellows are if you happen to be from the same company. But for those who don't, from Leonardo, we have teams Bang and Ecologic. Elevate Elite from Nifty Lift. Leonardo UK has the teams Just Us 7, Leaf It to Us, and Rapid. Rico Pride is representing Rico UK products. From Domino Printing Service, we have the Dominators. From Thales Academy, and lastly but not least, Trident Tested from BAE Systems Submarines. You can see your corresponding project titles. Maybe it gives away to your fellow team, to your fellow competitors, what they're working on. Maybe it doesn't. So next slide, please. So the event itself. So we're starting at 8 o'clock in terms of that's when you need to be here. Try not to be here too much earlier. We should hopefully have staff around before then. But please try to be there from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's when we're going to have you arrive, do your registration, and start setting up your prototype. From 9 to 9:15, our chair, Jason Yearsley, will be conducting a welcome note for all. That will be taking place in the either reception or the exhibition space. And then from 9:15 till 10, one of our judges will be assisting in the scrutineering. The actual meat of the day, 10 to 12:30, that's the judging. We're going into this in more detail in the later slides, but in the judging, you'll have a time slot where the judging team will come and speak to you and quiz you and assess your prototype and yourselves as a team. 12:30 to 1:30, we have our lunch break. Well, you yourselves have a lunch break. Myself and my fellow judges will be up starting our deliberation of the projects that we've just seen. Then from 1 till 3:30, we have the peer reviews. So that's where you're going to get to go around and look at your fellow teams and amongst yourselves try and decide who you feel has been the best project. And after that, we have the Lighthouse Challenge, which is being laid on by the AMTC with support from one of the steering committee members. From 3:30 till 4, we have a drinks reception. That's going to take place up in the mezzanine, as I mentioned earlier, and it's a chance for you to network amongst yourselves, with your fellow teams, even with the judges. Then lastly, from 4 to, well, not lastly, but from last as far as the events are concerned, from 4 to 4:30, we have the award ceremony where we'll be awarding the first prize, the judges highly commended, and then the peer reviews top peer review winner. And then lastly, end of activities, 4:30 to 6 o'clock, pack up, de-rig, and head on home. Please do note, however, that this event schedule may be subject to change as we get closer to the event and as certain elements may materialize or not be able to take place. Next slide, please. So the presentations themselves, how are we going to score them? So each team will get 25 minutes with a judging team. That is 20 minutes for presentation and then 5 minutes for the judges to flip the script and start asking you questions. Do be aware that 25 minutes is how long it takes. If you take less than 20 minutes to present, the judges will fill that time with more questions. So the longer you present, the less of a grilling you're going to get. The judges will be marking according to the following areas. Firstly, design. How well have you met the design requirements outlined in your report? The quality of the prototype. How well does it perform? Hopefully it does. Is the performance consistent and repeatable? And is the prototype of a high build quality? Following on from that, we have functionality. How innovative, usable, marketable is your prototype? You should all have hopefully read, you should all have worked on your reports and know your business case. So that's what you'll be looking more into this area. Lastly, the team depth of knowledge. How well do you answer technical questions about your product, the design, its development, its manufacture? Make sure that you try and have the right people who worked on those areas answer those questions, but at the same time, don't have them hogging that limelight. Because as the last part of this assessment, the team's presentation. How clear is the team's communication? Are you demonstrating good teamwork? Are you passing the ball around? Are you having just one person speak, or is the whole team able to contribute? Next slide, please. So what you need to bring, well, firstly and foremostly, yourselves and your prototype and any equipment needed to assemble and power it. Following on from that, safety documentation. So we would like to see a risk assessment and PAT certification, and these will all be checked during the scrutineering process to make sure everything's on the up and up and it's safe to be turned on. If it's not safe to be turned on, it doesn't mean you can't present, it just means you won't necessarily be able to show your product working. Presentation materials, so any laptops or any PowerPoints you wish to show, any printouts, be that reports, CAD drawings, whatever you feel will help best sell yourself and your product to the judges. And lastly, this one, identification. So we're hoping to lay on a tour of the MTC workshop. In order to get access to the building, you must bring one of the two possible options, either a passport or a driving license with a birth certificate. Those both must be together. Failure to do so means, unfortunately, if we are able to have a workshop tour, you will not be able to come. So very important you bring it if you wish to go on a workshop tour and we're able to arrange them. Next slide, please, Robin. So now I'm going to talk about some presentation and preparation tips for the day. The next slide, please. So first things first, the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Before the event, make sure you assign team roles to each team member. even if it's just allocating what you're talking about to who worked on what during your prototype, during your development. Ensure everyone gets to contribute. I've already mentioned this in the assessment, but we're going to look to make sure that everyone has been contributing towards this project. Play to team member strengths. Again, if someone worked on the electronics, have them discuss that. If someone worked on the software, again, have them discuss. Fill the time. As I've already stated, we have 25 minutes in which to assess you. 20 minutes is for you to talk to us. If we don't get that 20 minutes, we will fill that time more than happily. Know your product and your market inside out. Again, I am reiterating things I may have said in previous slides, but make sure you know whereabouts your prototype is going to fit into the market, how you're going to sell it, what its competitors are. And lastly, but not by no means leastly, practice, practice, practice. Practice amongst yourselves, practice to friends, family, colleagues. Have them field questions to you. Have them ask things that you maybe have not considered. For the event itself, obviously, bring everything you need. That goes without saying. But also, when it comes to your presentation, don't be afraid to point out any weaknesses in your product, but do make sure that you can actually then say, well, this didn't quite work, or that's not the best, but if we were to go further forward and we had more time, this is the change we might make. Lastly, relax and smile. Myself and my fellow judges, we're not as scary as we look or sometimes convey ourselves to be. Next slide, please. I believe that's the end of my section. Yes, it is. We seem to be missing a slide. I'll now be passing you over to Jake Tyler from the manufacturer, who will be discussing the Smart Manufacturing Week. Thank you for listening to me.
Thanks for the introduction, Toby. Hi, everyone. Jake here
just to interject, Jake, sorry, for some reason when I flick from slide 11, it just goes straight to slide 13. So hopefully you're going to be able to look around that, but just letting you know.
That's no problem. Thank you, Robin. So Jake here at the manufacturer. I'm in the delivery team. So I'm responsible for the delivery of our events and awards programs. If you haven't heard of us, we are the manufacturer publication. So we create content all around the manufacturing industry. We have an editorial team who spends every day speaking to manufacturers and engineers like yourselves, creating content such as interviews, features, thought leadership pieces, conducting research and analysis. And we share this content with you through our print magazine and on our website and social media channels. We also have an events portfolio, so we have summits, exhibitions and awards programs, like I mentioned. The manufacturer is really proud to continue our support of the Apprentice Automation Challenge. It's a really important activity and we're pleased to be a part of it. We support the challenge in several ways. Firstly, we promote the program across our channels, reaching our community of over 600,000 people. So this is a really good opportunity to enhance your profile. And secondly, next slide, please, Robin. Perfect. Secondly, we invite the winning team to present your winning product with our audience at Smart Manufacturing Week. This takes place in June next year, and it's the industry's biggest festival of advanced manufacturing. So this is a great opportunity to network, to learn, and by taking part in the STEM program, you'll be encouraging the next generation of manufacturers and engineers, which is brilliant. And finally, next slide, please, Robin. The best part is we invite the winning team to attend the awards ceremony of the Manufacturer IMechE Awards. If you haven't heard of it already, this is the industry's biggest and most rigorous program organised by the manufacturer in partnership with the IMechE. This takes place in Liverpool and it's attended by 400 industry professionals. And this is your opportunity to celebrate your winning status and have a good evening with your team. So they're the ways we are supporting the program and how you can get involved with what we do. And on behalf of the manufacturer team, I wish you all the best of luck in the challenge and in your future careers. And don't be strangers. Subscribe. Thank you. Back over to Robin. Thank you.
Thanks, Toby and Jake, for your presentations there. We're now going to move on to the question and answer session. So during this, there's two ways you can ask a question. Number one is you can put your hand up and we will go consecutively to people in the queue. If you are then answering a question, please turn your microphone, and if you'd like your camera on, and say who you are and then ask your question. You're also, if you are feeling shy and don't want to do that, then you're also welcome to pop your questions into the chat, to the chat box or the Q&A box on the on Teams. I'm going to invite Toby and Jake to be on standby to take any questions, and yeah, hands up, and please someone go first, because otherwise it's going to be a very long awkward silence for me. And if we don't have any questions, obviously we will be able to finish early and everyone can get back to their days. So don't feel too obliged to ask. You're also welcome to contact the institutional mechanical engineers separately via email if you do have any questions. I will flash up the email address for that at the end. Toby, it seems like we're deafened by the silence here.
It looks that way indeed.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely fine. We are. I'm happy to conclude things there if you are.
Yes, as Robin has said, if you have any questions, please do reach out to the AAC directly, and they'll either be forwarded on to myself if it's a judging related matter, or be answered by one of the other committee members. Just
a final note to encourage people here today to that there are a number of awards available which the institution hands out relevant to this subject. If you are interested in learning more about any of these, or perhaps submitting some application to them, then do please visit the IMechE website for more information, and you can contact awards@imeche.org for more information about the criteria and the awards themselves. The closing dates for all these is the 30th of September, so you still got a bit of time to put in an application for that. And then yeah, just a final remark to say, here's the contact address. That's aac.challenge@imeche.org with any questions about the competition. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you all for the final in September. And thank you to Toby and Jake for your contributions today, and for everyone for attending. And I will, with that, bid you all good afternoon, and best of luck with the competition.
Best of luck.